My name is Zacharia, writer in Malayalam for those of you who are not Malayalis. Or even Malayalis wouldn't necessarily know every writer. It's a fact. So I've been writing for about 65 years now, I think. So that's a long time. What do I say? I've written a lot of stories, basically. I've done some broadcasting with Asianet in its beginning days. Done a few travelogues, 1 or 2 film scripts, columns. So I've been basically a writer all my life. I have hardly done any other work other than writing. In fact, I was mostly unemployed most of my time. I don't know how I lived. I have no clue. Looking back, I have no idea. My wife had a job, so that sort of balanced it off. But every now and then I also got some money. So it's that way it went. So the other part of my life is that I spent a lot of it outside Kerala. I left Kerala when I was 16, came to Mysore, I did my graduation there, came to Bangalore, did my post-graduation here. Then I was teaching for a while in MES College, Malleshwaram. Then I was in Kerala for 4 years. Then I went to Delhi. I was in Delhi for about 21 years. And then I came back to Kerala. I've been in Kerala ever since. So what I would say is, for me, this is not, I'm sure it's not everybody's experience. For me, I think my living outside Kerala has helped me grow a lot, because Kerala is a very insular place and it's very difficult to, except for politics, nothing is alive there. Everything is structured within various political thinking. So freedom in that sense is available, but most people get brainwashed when they are very young. They are either right or left or middle or CPM or Congress or something like that. And writers also get influenced. But when you leave Kerala and go away, and I had the good luck to do that from the age of 16, then you get to have a perspective on Kerala from outside. Especially when you get it from Delhi, you have a much better view of what's happening in Kerala, because you're also watching the politics in Delhi. And I was in the journalistic circles mostly. So that's what got me into writing about politics. And I have written, I think, maybe a few thousand articles on politics, Kerala politics and national politics. And I think politics today, and I'm not at all unhappy, it has eaten into my writing time. Maybe if I hadn't done all those columns and articles, and if I hadn't gone around, I was giving public talks for about 12-13 years in Kerala. If I hadn't done all that, maybe I could have written more, perhaps. But I think I would have been poorer for that. That's what I feel. Because this gave me a much better standing as a political human being. And in India, if you are not political, you are nothing. This is my feeling. If you are not political. Because we are ruled by politicians. Our lives are ruled by politicians. They decide what we should eat, what we should drink, what we should speak, what we should do, etc., etc. They decide almost everything. So you can't ignore this terrible tribe of people. They have control over our lives. So this is why, but very often we don't even realize that politics really has a hold on our hearts and on our heads and on our lives and on the lives of our children, because the children also learn only what the politicians allow them to learn. Like now, the textbooks have been altered completely, especially the history textbooks. The children who are going to learn those textbooks are going to learn and live with a totally distorted history of India. And they are going to grow up with that history in their head. So this is a very poisonous, it's almost like some kind of a nuclear thing getting into our blood, which can explode later as something. So I used to think that religion was perhaps the most dangerous thing in the world. But in a way, caste is one of the most dangerous things in the world. Caste is only for India, as you know. But Politics today in India, especially, is the most dangerous force operating. So, what I'm saying is, in a way, I'm happy I was able to become politically aware by traveling around, and I have traveled. Travel has been something that I have done for a long time. I have traveled. Fortunately, I have traveled all over the world. So that also has helped me to grow up. So this is one of the and to conclude the thing, how did I become a writer? I became a writer only because I was a reader. I would say I was a bookworm. See, the only reason why I became a writer is because my father had books and magazines at home. And in those days, it was very rare for Christian homes to have books and magazines. Other than, even Bible was not permitted in those days in Catholic church homes, because the priest said there are things which only we understand, not you. And there are quite a few dirty stories also in it, and they didn't want us to read that, especially in the Old Testament. A lot of dirty stories. So, and so even today, it is, some of the stories are of a higher degree than what you see in the social media, that sort of thing. So Bible, I read Bible for the first time when I came to Mysore to study English literature, and chapters from the Bible was part of the syllabus for Old English. Sorry, not for Old English, for the development in the history of language. That's how I read Bible for the first time. So all these things happened. I could get out of, because freedom is all important. So I managed to get out of the religion that I was born into, which is a Catholic Church. I managed to remain free as a political being. I am not affiliated to any political party. If at all anything, I am affiliated to Marxism as Marx preached and practiced, not what Stalin, Lenin, and etc. captured and made their own. So that is the only thing that I am.
Can I have a question?
You want me to hold it close?
No. Can I ask a question?
I know. You want me to finish? Yeah. No. So this is it. Finished.
Sorry, sir. Very sorry to interrupt you. So I was so enthusiastic to ask this question because I am also from Kerala, and what you said about Kerala, like we are at a young age, we get fit into these kind of ideologies. So I was also a SFI person in my college, and later knowing the politics that's playing within the campus, I just left that, and now I'm a PhD student who is learning on religion and ecology. So I have this spectrum of life, and I understand now. You said one thing, that whenever we move outside of the state and we look from a different perspective, outside perspective, we learn something about something that's happening in our state. So I also feel that this thing is happening, and I'm very happy that it got addressed. So my question is, don't you see that the same thing is going around even in the northern states? See, some ideology is getting inflicted on a larger group of people, and it is influencing our politics and everything, right? So isn't this thing not just confined within the state of Kerala, but even if we come to Tamil Nadu, there is a kind of Dravidian politics now. Tamil nationalism is being talked about a lot by the new political parties that's coming up. So these ideologies happening, taking over, even in the younger generations, is something that's happening, right?
Politics is inevitable because the Constitution of India says that democracy will be conducted by political parties contesting as people for the place of people's representative, and that's how democracy is conducted. So those representatives elect the ruling this one. So politics is inevitable. The question is, what is the driving force behind that each political party? Like in Tamil Nadu, for example, the main driving force is Dravidian politics, which has been working for them. As far as I am a supporter of the Dravidian politics, with a lot of codicils, with a lot of reservations, but I think like with Marxism. So, but in the north, the Congress used to control the whole of India for the last almost 50 years or more, but it lost out on that politics, when a stronger narrative of religious politics came in, of divisive politics came in, they could not hold on to that. Plus, they themselves had over the years grown inefficient and corrupt. So these are but you can't, if you were in the SFI, for example, etc., basically the political training gives you some teeth and nail to understand something to bite into the society in a critical manner, something to ask questions to the society. That way it is very, very, very useful. But in the North, the new ideology of communal politics it has not been imported into the North. It has been developed. It was born in. It was deep rooted. It developed there, from Nagpur and all those places, and it fitted into the. What happened is, I don't know whether we should say that it is. We shouldn't say that perhaps, but you see, North has been educationally backward. That I think is not a wrong thing to say. I can say that everyone, for the last so many years. So this educational backwardness has created an area, an emptiness where you can plant anything. Whereas in Kerala, it is not so easy to plant anything, but planting is going on. It is going on very well. But nevertheless, they are not winning. What I am saying is, lack of education is a very, very, very dangerous thing when it comes to misleading people and when people are led into all kinds of blind beliefs and hatred. So the current ideology which is ruling India says one or two groups of people are our enemies within. They have created enemies within India for the other group, and that is the axis on which they are functioning. And then they have, we have enough enemies outside. That's a different matter. So all these things together is what has created the situation you are referring to. But we have to, so it is for each citizen to realize that this, you cannot have a study class in which you can tell everybody that this is wrong, we should not become communal, we should not hate Muslims, we should not hate Hindus, we should not hate, or it has to come from the schools, actually, right from the the lowest classes. That's not happening. So this is a situation, but politics is a must. Politics is a must. We must learn to control politics. We should not allow politicians to control us. We have to vote 100%. We have to somehow or the other. But if I have only the ruling party today to vote for, I will not vote for it. I will withhold my vote. But if there's some kind of an option, then I will opt for the secular party. That is what. But we have to vote. So that is what keeps the democracy going. At least now, there's at least a pretension of democracy going. That is what.
So it's to choose who is secular among the persons who we get to vote.
Secular, intelligent, civilized. So many things go into it. Can you imagine? Will you vote for Trump?
Never.
These are the simple black and white answers to our questions.
Hello, sir. Yeah. So as you rightly said, religion is the most poisonous thing. So, most of us are born into religion, born and grown up in a religion. We don't have a choice. Whereas the politics, we take a informed decision once we come to some particular age. So how do you see this? Religion, there is no choice, whereas most of us choose the politics once we come to a certain level of awareness.
No, that because ultimately religion is imposed on us. The moment we are born, it comes upon us. And even from the religion, you can get out. If you start thinking properly, reading properly, looking into the history of your religion properly. Like before I got out of Christianity, I went through the whole history of Christianity, and it was fascinating, disgusting, so many things. It also had many interesting things. So this you have to do. Then you know that you have done the right thing. You don't have any doubts left in your head. In the matter of politics, the same way, you have to watch politics carefully. See, voting for a political party, as just now I said, is not it does not mean that you are subservient to that political party. See, but in a state like Kerala, everyone who votes for a particular political party has been, like Modi and company says, converted to that party, for example. They are converts. They will not allow any other faith. If you're a CPM man, only CPM is right, and you will not look at any CPM activity critically. If you're a congressman, it's the same. Congressmen are perhaps a little more, I don't know, maybe a little more flexible. They have always been like that. And that's what got them into this trouble also. Anyway, so you have to rethink politics. You have to be watchful. But the most dangerous factor in that preventing you from understanding politics is because all the inputs that we get about politics is from the media. And nearly every word that you read in the media or see in the media is only a half truth. Or it is distorted. Or it is a lie, 100% lie. Lying for someone else. It's a kind of benami. So this, since we all depend on newspapers and the television for our political inputs, we are helpless. We tend to believe what we see in the media, and we think that this is the truth. And that is why your question about is it possible to get freedom to rethink politics, we don't have enough facts except what the media gives us. And the media is not a reliable, at any point of time, not a reliable communicator of truth, especially about politics. That is the problem. And so I think we are fated to remain in this kind of blindness, half darkness about the truth of politics. I don't know, unless you decide, okay, whatever the media says, I have my own reading of it. That you have to create.
I think I'll come back to writing literature, whatever, right? Short story as a form, do you think there's sort of stagnancy? I mean, we don't see any new themes or structures or forms or anything which is now sort of, there is something new which is coming, both in Malayalam and probably in some of the other languages where I'm familiar with. You've seen, unlike poetry, there seems to be a revival from a conversation point of view, and we have seen novels being a whole lot of translations and there are a lot of noise, but short story as a form, there seems to be some sort of I'm not sure, maybe an opinion, but I want to know what is your...
I think it's very difficult to generalize on that, because there are so many languages where short story is thriving and doing very, very well. Even in Malayalam, it's a very, the younger generation comes out with some fantastic stories. Absolutely. So it has evolved. There was if you're talking about Malayalam from Thakazhi, etc., then my generation moved into another phase. Then another Santosh Kumar and all, another phase came in. And then there is yet another new group of youngsters have come in who are taking short stories into all kinds of directions. Not that each of them is, most of them are good in their own way, and more importantly, they are all very political. Very political. It's not as if they are writing about Pinarayi Vijayan or anything like that, or Narendra Modi, no. But the politics is at the back of their mind. The politics of inequality, the horrible politics of religion, it's all there at the back. So that's a great relief. Not at all. My father was an unbeliever, fortunately. My mother was a half believer. So that made it still more easy. So I don't know. My family is a family of eccentrics. It has been there. If we go into the history of my that family, there were chess players. People are steeped in chess. There were mandravadis. There are black magicians. There were snake catchers. So all kinds of people. So I was one among them in that sense. So it didn't create any problem. No, I didn't hear. Caste system.
Very dangerous. പക്ഷെ ഇപ്പോഴേ കരിയറായിട്ട് നമ്മളിപ്പോൾ ജീവിക്കുന്നത് ഈ യുഗത്തിലാണ്. അപ്പോൾ ഈ കാസ്റ്റ് ഉണ്ടായത് എത്രയോ വർഷങ്ങൾ ആയിരക്കണക്കിന് വർഷങ്ങൾക്ക് മുമ്പാണ്. പക്ഷെ എന്നിട്ട് നമ്മൾ ഇത്രയും സ്ഫോടനാത്മകമായ പല പരിണാമങ്ങളും നമ്മുടെ സമൂഹത്തിൽ സംഭവിച്ചിട്ടും കാസ്റ്റിനെ എങ്ങനെയാണ് ഇത്രയും ഇൻഫ്ലുവൻസ് ചെയ്യാൻ കഴിയുന്നത്? അത് ഇൻഫ്ലുവൻസ് ചെയ്തുകൊണ്ടിരിക്കുകയാണ് ഇപ്പോൾ. അതിനെന്തെങ്കിലും മാറ്റം ഉണ്ടാകുമോ? അല്ലെങ്കിൽ അതിന്റെ മെയിൻ റീസൺസ് ഒക്കെ എന്തൊക്കെയാണ് പറയാം?
അത്രമാത്രം എനിക്ക് അറിഞ്ഞുകൂടാ. പക്ഷെ ഒരു കാര്യം വളരെ വ്യക്തമാണ്, നമ്മൾ വി ആർ ബോൺ ഇൻ ടു എ കാസ്റ്റ് ലൈക്ക് യു ആർ ബോൺ ഇൻ ടു എ റിലിജിയൻ. നൗ കാസ്റ്റ് ഈസ് ബേസിക്കലി recognized as a separate sector and category only in under the Hinduism thing. Caste is there in Christianity, caste is there in Islam also. It is there. Following on the Hindu footsteps, it is there very much. But it is unspoken. It is not categorized, except in the case of people from the. I should be very careful using the word from the scheduled caste and scheduled tribes, because somebody is my dear friend has got into a lot of trouble by using that word. So when except in the case of people who have been converted to Christianity from the scheduled caste and scheduled tribes, they are treated as a separate segment in the so caste is perhaps deeper than religion, because caste works in the house. It's a force that is within the family. The caste is not derived from the temple. No. The temple is more broad and general, but caste is inside the house. That is where it gets injected into your mind. So it's very difficult to get out of it. Unless again, you consciously try to understand. Even if you try to understand that, then somebody else will still continue to look at you as belonging to that caste. So there's no escape. സമൂഹം ഈ കാര്യത്തിലൊന്നുമേ ഒരു അലസരാണ്. ഇതിപ്പോ കാസ്റ്റ് ഉണ്ടെങ്കിലും ഇല്ലെങ്കിലും ആർക്കും വലിയ ഉള്ളത് കൊണ്ടും ആർക്കും ഒരു കുഴപ്പമില്ല. ഉണ്ടാക്കാനുള്ള പൈസയൊക്കെ ഉണ്ടാക്കുന്നുണ്ട്, ജീവിക്കാനുള്ള സുഖങ്ങളൊക്കെ ഉണ്ട്, ഇതെല്ലാം ഭൗതിക എല്ലാം ഉണ്ട്. കല്യാണം കഴിക്കാൻ നേരത്ത് മാത്രം കുറച്ചൊന്ന് അന്വേഷിച്ച് നടക്കണം എന്നുള്ളതല്ലേ ഉള്ളൂ. അത്ര അതെ, ഇപ്പോഴും അങ്ങനെ തന്നെ. എനിക്കറിയാവുന്നതോളം ഒരു വ്യത്യാസമില്ല.